How's it going, Sha?
Um, okay. Um, just fine. Just
Yeah,
fine. Yeah, yeah. How
it's
about
a good
you?
place.
I guess. I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm still trying to decide if it is fine. Um, but I guess so. I had kind of a low a little bit of a funk yesterday. I was in a little bit of a funk
Mm,
yesterday, which is fine.
yeah.
When I feel that coming on, I just let it happen.
Right.
Because I don't think it's going to be forever. Um, so I'm just like, oh well, we'll just ride this out.
Okay.
And it was just for the day, and I'm not 100% sure what brought it on, but it was just just a little bit of sadness in the day that you just would carry with you until you get to sleep or, or take a couple
Yeah.
Advil or whatever you do.
You
Yeah.
know, I gotta like sincerely, I want to thank you. You
Mm-mm.
know, we've been doing this pod a few years. I knew you before the pod, obviously,
Right.
but like I talk to you every week,
Right. Yes.
and
This
it's a
is
little different. You know what I mean?
truly the
Like
most consistent relationship I've had in 4.5 years.
real talk. There's solid weeks where like I talk to you more than people in my house. Like
Right.
like it's regular and like but like like as someone who is doing a similar journey as me artistically, professionally, someone who I respect, and I got like as someone who knew you beforehand, speaking to you weekly gives me a sense of I'm not alone with this stuff,
Mm. Mhm.
because sincerely, like, and I know you've heard some of this from your peers, but from outside looking in, if you would have asked me, I would have thought you had no like emotional downs ever. Like, or God, I thought like you walk around with like the Lady of Rage verse from the Snoop Dogg album in your head all the time, like kicking up dust and I don't give a goddamn, like every day just chilling. And
Yeah.
and like I wouldn't have known that like, oh, like someone dope is also on occasion not like just on a honey, you know?
Right, right. Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I I don't know if I work hard to not seem like I have any emotions because that's probably not healthy, but I guess I do to some extent in order to deal with the city. Um, and even then, sometimes everybody I think who lives in New York City and has to deal with the city, ha- in order to make it, kind of makes a decision as to how stone faced they're going to be.
Right.
And so, that can get you through months, years, really.
Yeah.
But then you can also have a day where you think you got a good stone face on, and then this happened to me a couple of days ago. The L broke down, which was going to change my plans, and I was like, "Oh, I'm not going to be able to do what I needed to do before I get to this place." So let me see, can I switch it up? And the platform is just filling up with people, and trains are few and far between, and they're already packed when they get to us. And then some woman in the background just started screaming and yelling in a way that was very unhinged. And I was like, okay, I just need, I think I just need to get out of the subway and stand on the street for a second because this is not good.
Yeah, yeah. It cracks every now and then. Like
hmm
I
And
know it's just something that but like sincerely, I never would have thought it, but like hearing your hearing you go through it and being okay afterward, like
hmm
I think it's made me feel healthier.
oh,
I
well,
don't know if
that's
you
good.
know, and I would assume similar to our listeners, you know?
Oh, yeah, well, I'm glad it's helping someone. I am. Not not like in a mean way, but just like in a I worry that I am being too much, even though I know I'm not, because I also know I'm suppressing a lot. So I'm like, then how am I too much if I'm barely letting anything out, but I still feel it. And so if at any point someone else is like, "Yeah, I get that," then I it does help me feel better. My
Yeah.
my whole thought is just like, I mean, I'm not making this up, am I? Certainly, I'm not making this up. Um, and sometimes I am, but I think for the most part, I'm not. I think occasionally you just have a day where you get up and you get moving and you're like, oh, I shouldn't have left the house today, but
Yeah.
I'm halfway to work. I can't, I couldn't call out of work. I still gotta, it's not so debilitating that I can't, you
Right.
know, go to work, but I probably can't decide what I'm going to eat for lunch
Right.
because I don't know, I don't know up from down right now. So, yeah, it was just that kind of day of, um, trying to figure out something to listen to and then stumbling on something that sounded, kinda pitiful, and I was like, "There it is. That's what I need." Somebody with a guitar whining about something. That's it. That's what today is.
Yeah, I like seeing those moments because they're like revealing to me in weird ways about a lot. Like I do some work with Story Collider, really awesome nonprofit where we share stories about science.
Mhm.
So like it's the only work environment that I kind of take part in, and that they have like a Slack channel,
Oh,
and like I'm in that space.
right.
So a while back, they were trying to put together a package of like, hey, any like interesting feedback you guys are getting after shows or from audience members, or just trying to put together kind of like, a little clip of things we've heard over the year. It was like the end of year wrap up kind of thing. And I responded like overly vulnerable. like
Uh-oh.
like I said something that like was like like I forget the exactness of it, but like I was having like I got like rejected from two things that I'd submitted for,
Mhm.
and I was having just like a rough comedy week.
Mhm.
And it wasn't bad, it was the norms, but like it happened to like land at like a week's worth of rejections landed the same like day.
Right.
So if they would have talked to me 8 hours later, I would have been not that.
Right.
But I happened to see it right after I got that. So
Mhm.
I said a beautiful, but admittedly like a little emo response. You know what I mean? So I posted it, and like it got like really good like feedback from them, like, yo, that's beautiful. But then I got mad DMs like, yo,
Like,
you good?
"Yo." Yeah.
Yo, and
Mhm.
like it like hit me, and also disproportionately from the New York part of the team,
Mhm.
who A knows me more, and B knows that like we don't do that. We don't share like that.
Right.
So
Yeah.
like it like stood out a lot to them. But yeah, like I found it like fascinating, like just like because a part of me was like I read it again. I was like, yeah, that really wasn't
That's
a
not
note
my
I hate.
brand.
Yeah, that's not my brand on here. You know what I mean? I'm usually like jolly joke guy.
Right, yeah, yeah.
And then like on top of that, like it wasn't like I didn't say anything negative or uh like woe is me about the world. I was just talking
Mhm.
about things being a little tough.
Right.
And like I was like, damn, like that's all it took to like I turned emotion up to one shot. Well, so I was like, I don't think I did anything crazy here. Like
Mm-mm.
the amount I shared was so little, but like it was jarring in terms of like, nah, this ain't the norm.
Well, I mean, you have worked hard to be a positive person,
Right,
enough so that it doesn't feel like a put on.
right, right.
It doesn't feel like you're like like it's an assignment from a therapist. It doesn't feel like that.
Right, right.
It feels like, you have been through some shit and you're
Yeah,
out the other side, and you're going to let that you're not going to forget whatever you've been through. It's a part of you and it's how you move, but you're going to channel those energies in a positive way, and you're going to make sure that you share that with others so that you're
yeah,
not, soaking in whatever, the past. And so once people get used to that, which I imagine, sometimes people have to get used to because 'cause they're like, why is he
Yeah, I
so
get that.
positive?" Yeah, but so there's yeah, knocking that notch up to 1 is just like, "Uh-oh, man down. What
Yeah, yo,
happened?"
we lost the good guy, yo, like
Yeah. "Who did this? Who do I need to"
real talk. Once I read it, I was like, I don't think I went that wild, but like I get that it's noticeably different than what I do.
Right.
And to your point, like I genuinely like feel positive
Mhm.
most days now. But on the days I don't, those are days I take off.
Right.
Like I don't want to put that out there either. Like,
Mhm.
so I'm like, all right, this is a me day today. I'm gonna do some office work, so I'm around the crib. You know what I mean? Like if I'm depressed, that's the day I go grocery shopping or some shit where like you could be
Sure.
sad around vegetables by yourself at a
Right.
Target. You know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
that's fine. But yeah,
Yeah.
like it struck me as like fun. Like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Like how little vulnerability it takes for it to be like noticed.
Yeah.
But yeah, to your point, I don't know what would happen if like someone would go to the full thing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true. I'm lucky I did have to go into the office, but it was a quiet day. I barely had to interact with her. Everybody was in their own little offices and I didn't have to talk to anyone really. It
That's
was
beautiful.
lovely. And I went to a Broadway musical.
Oh,
Uh
nice. What you see?
I saw Gypsy
Okay,
with Audra McDonald,
nice.
who's a legend, a Broadway legend. And the like the main characters were black, I think, except for one. And I mean there were other characters that were white, but of the core, there was only one woman and they're black, but they didn't change any words, even though this was set in like um I guess like the 40s and 50s or something like that maybe is when it was set.
Okay,
Uh, um, and it's a classic musical, Stephen Sondheim songs, a lot of bangers. I forgot the songs that were in it, and I've always liked Gypsy,
yeah.
but I forgot, like, the songs that were in it, so then they started, the overture plays a little bit of each song you're gonna hear, and you're like, "Oh, right, right. Oh, yeah, that's in here too. Oh, right, this is from the" and so, um, so it was nice, but there's one song in it, "If Mama Was Married," which is one of my favorite Broadway tunes, and, they go into singing that song. Your girl started tearing up, and I'm like, "That's alright. I tear up all the time. I'm always tearing up. That's nothing." Full on crying by the end of the song.
Yo,
Like, "Alright, well, I guess this was gonna come out some way." You know what I mean?
it,
It was
it gets you.
either here or on the train, so what's it gonna be?
Listen, shot. I have cried at on Broadway twice now. And the first one was Aladdin,
What? What?
straight up, and it had nothing to do with the play. It's just
Oh,
I'll
okay.
admit to it. Like it, I cried because it was the first show there was the first thing I saw live. Period. After the lockdown,
Oh, okay,
so
alright.
like I felt
So
like
everybody was crying,
yeah,
really.
I was just like, oh, there's people. Like I was just emo as hell.
Right, right.
And then I cried again. Shouldn't have, in my opinion. I cried a lot during before the start of Back to the Future.
Okay,
Real
yeah.
talk.
Those
And
are
again,
wild
and,
those are
and
wild things to cry.
right, but I again, it's just like it was other stuff that like anything would trigger. So like
Right.
I had it was I would say during one of the times I most consider not doing stand up anymore.
Mm,
And then being around a show where like it was packed out, people were excited to see this thing. And I was like, yo, I like being a part of these environments. And
mhm.
then also like knowing everything or a lot because of the film and watching my kids enjoy that.
Right.
Like it moved me. So I was teary eyed as hell. And like we were there, Back to the Future we went to for my birthday. So like my kids were asking mom, like, yo, is he all right? Like,
You're supposed to I thought he would be happy.
yeah. Gabby and my mom had to like console, like, nah, he good, he good. You know what I mean? But Yeah, you never know what's gonna drop, Sha. You right.
No, that's true, that's true. I'm usually I cry at concerts because that's where I'm at the most, and not all the time, but just occasionally. Occasionally, someone
Oh,
will do something, and I'm like I mean, there have been I can think of one notable concert a band called Blonde Redhead did their album Misery is a Butterfly. They did the
okay.
whole album and I was just like, "Yeah, great. Let's go see it with a little quartet, a little string quartet. It's gonna be great." And it was at Le Poisson Rouge and
Okay. Love that room.
yeah, and so, they started and the first song started and I was like, "Yeah, this is good. Yep, sounds like the okay, and got a little emotional, and then the second song, I started crying, and I'm like, I just hadn't heard it in a long time, and then I started crying, and cried through maybe the whole concert, like ugly snot, could not stop crying, and I was like, "Yo, this is a problem." I don't normally oh god. It's so funny. Oh, man, I just really and then I guess later I remember that that was an album I played during a really hard time in my life,
Yeah.
was when that album came out, and so, though things were conceivably better, it just something about them chords hit a
Yup.
nerve, and it tapped it, and I just I was it was silent, but it was a lot. People next to me looked over like, "Are you okay?" And I was just like, "No, I'm not. We'll be fine. You'll talk about this for years later."
Real talk.
Yeah.
Real talk. I'm with you on that. I love it. I you know what? I have to do that. I actually think that's a good memory to have. I think and it's one of the gaps in my experiences. I've
Mm.
not even predominant, I've only gone to hip hop concerts. Like
Oh,
I've seen like one or I think I've seen two classical music things that I
okay.
got invited to.
Mhm.
But like I've paid for only hip hop concerts so far. And
Okay.
I've never and any singing I've seen has been a part of a hip hop show.
Yeah, you
You
should see
know,
someone who sings.
yeah, I wanna see something like that that, like, evokes other emotions. I think it's like and, like, Griselda ain't making me cry.
No, no.
I mean, as much as I love them dudes, it's not, you know what I mean, what's happening. Uh, there is a hip hop group I know that would make me cry. I've seen
Hmm,
them live early on. The group, Cunning Linguist. I love them dudes.
okay.
No is, the producer is a
Right.
homie, made our beat, as a lot of y'all know.
Yep.
Um, their album a piece of strange, if I heard that like performed live, a
Mhm.
similar situation, like I played it during like transitional periods of my life, so like I would definitely get emo if I heard that live,
Right, right, right.
in a way that I think people should feel. I think
Yeah.
that's beautiful to have that connection with art, to have a communal experience. I think that'd be cool. Um, I'm curious if I've aged out of that. Like, is it okay to cry at a show by yourself at 40? Because
Yeah.
that's part of it, right? Like, I feel like I would have
Oh,
gone with
I
friends.
never think about the age if I'm too old to be. Because I mean, honestly, if we think about it, I'm probably too old to be at the concerts if we start going down that line of
Right.
you know what I mean? And if I thought I was too old to go to any of the things, I wouldn't do anything. And I mean,
It's real.
I do a lot of times I'm like, "Oh, I should. I'd like to, but I don't know." I do that to for my liking too much, and then I hear from people who are like, "You are always doing stuff." And I'm
Yeah,
like, "Really?" Because I feel like I'm not. Like I really
your IG stories is like legit, like inspiring.
I really don't like, I feel like, I mean, it's to me, I'm like, they're just concerts or it's just go to
Right.
a movie, but there are so many people who are like, "Yeah, no, I don't go to movies by myself or I don't go to concerts by myself. I would never do that." And I'm like, well, then you're gonna miss them. And I don't know what to tell you if you're gonna miss that. But there are places that want to go. Like, we all know I'm trying to I'm trying to get to London this year for some unknown reason. Just trying to get over
I
there,
love that.
and I am still like Well, I don't know. No, just do it. And, there's always levels to it. But yeah, no, I don't think when it comes to being, especially because of where we live,
Right.
you there's no room. You don't have room to, like, be emotional elsewhere.
Right.
Like, when you can't, like, just run home and block because there are probably 4 other people in your home at any given point. You know what I mean? So, like,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, I guess you it when it hits, it hits. And also, I think of crying as an outlet, and sometimes you need to do that in order to get past whatever is blocking you to do the next thing. And so sometimes if you stop the tears, you're continuing to block yourself and you won't move on. So I can't force tears. There are times where I'm like, what I need is a good cry, but I can't force tears. But when they come, it's like, great. So when
Right.
they come, I'm like, great, I need you to come and to wash away whatever the problem is so I can move forward. And so that's what I figured when I started crying in Gypsy last night. I was just like, well, all right. I mean, and when I woke up this morning, I was like, "Okay, I thought I would still feel bad, but I didn't." I was like, "Okay. All right, yeah,
Right.
I feel better." But yeah, I'm not gonna stop it, you know?
Amen. Real talk, yo. Shouts to South for getting her cry on.
Okay, oh, let's
Real
not
talk. Cunning
celebrate it,
linguist.
everybody. Yeah.
Come through to New York next time. And if you a hip hop fan, go to their show. You'll see me cry next time they're in New York.
I'll be there too.
Real talk.
I wanna meet No, and then I also wanna see Gastor cry. I'm not gonna tease you, I'll pet your back, like, they're there.
That's all I'm asking for. Oh man. Let's get
Uh,
into the news.
alright. Are we talking Super Bowl?
Yes, indeed. Right up top.
Oh, great, okay.
Kendrick Lamar's record-breaking Super Bowl halftime show matters
Alright,
for more than just one night.
okay. Did it break a record? That
uh,
people
yeah,
are
it kind of
moving
did. People are tight.
fast and loose with these numbers, though.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot. Like the Super Bowl drew an estimated 126 million viewers
Mhm.
on average, but it peaked at 137 point
Okay.
7 during the halftime show.
Okay, alright, okay, that
So
makes
yeah,
sense.
that is the most viewership for an Apple Music halftime show ever.
So for an
Um,
Apple Music halftime
yeah,
show. See, there's so many qualifiers. Because how long has Apple been doing the halftime shows?
yeah, I think it's like 5 years. I would say that might be the record period though, just because I would assume less people watched before, right? No,
No. I
yeah,
mean,
you're right.
well, first of all, they've only been around since, like, '93, and Michael Jackson was the first one.
Right,
So, those numbers had to be high. Also, it's on network television, so it's not like
right,
we forget we've been in this, like, streaming hellhole for so long, we forget that if you don't have cable, and if you don't even if you don't have streaming services, if you have TV, you get Fox.
right.
So, yeah, so, like, it's,
Yeah, like
uh
there were less likely reasons for people to not be watching it before.
right, yeah, you
Yeah,
had to, like, really go somewhere in
yeah,
order to avoid it, because 'cause I've definitely done shows where they were Super Bowl, like, here's an alternative, here's whatever, something for the ladies or whatever the fuck,
right.
or when I worked at the porn store, um, the store was empty until you could reach a consensus with the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay.
I.e., if it was a tight game all the way through, nobody until that game was done. Um,
Right.
if if by, like, the 3rd quarter or so, or beginning of the 4th, you're like, "Ah, I see how it's gonna play out," then people would start coming into the store.
Yeah, you would have got some of that this time.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Even though
Right.
they still tried to, make it closer at the end. I think when I left, I was like, "It's about done," and it was the 4th quarter, and I still miss that, the Chiefs, scored some more points, as it
Yeah.
were, but not enough.
Mm.
But, anywho, yeah, okay, so did you watch it? How did you
Yeah, I wasn't actually feeling well, so I stayed home. I watched it with Gabby. in the living room.
Mhm.
Pretty quiet overall, but we brought the kids out to see the halftime show specifically.
Right.
Um, the A with Michaela like really being into art, and Aiden just because he asks me a lot of stuff about hip hop rap questions and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I thought it would be a good chance to kind of like bond and see this, but I didn't want to make him watch the whole game and like explain
Yeah.
football either.
Right.
So yeah, no, it was cool. I we as a fan took it in. Aiden is very he doesn't notice a lot of details on first watch. You have to
Right.
explain things. So
Yes.
he didn't see why this was cool. He
Mhm.
initially was like, he's just rapping. Michaela, on the other hand, works with like a lot of art and visual stuff. So she was like, "Oh, that's dope. I see the flag that they're building out with
Mhm.
this." Um, she was asking those type of questions, and then that kind of like triggered a lot of what Aiden would see from there.
Okay.
Gabby and I kind of just knew a lot. We're more familiar with his music, so I we kind of just enjoyed it overall. I thought it was cool. What'd you think?
Um, I thought I thought for Kendrick it was a good performance. I'm sorry, my cat showed up. I hadn't seen this bitch in 3 hours. I don't know where she's been. I
Yo, she
truly
heard
don't.
about Kendrick. Like, hold on, what, we talking?
Um, okay, I thought for Kendrick it was pretty good.
Yeah,
Um, I watched it a second time. In fact, I watched it about I'd say like an hour and a half ago, just for the first time since watching it on when it happened.
yeah.
Um, because I was like, I'm sure I'm gonna have to rewatch this. He always gives us homework assignments. Kendrick, stay giving us homework assignments, right? So,
Amen.
yeah, so I watched it again so I could kind of see a little bit more of what it was that he was trying to do.
Right.
And like for a Kendrick performance again, I thought it was pretty good. He likes doing a lot of what's the word? Militaristic type of you know, tableaus as it is. He likes a lot of people marching and
Yeah.
he likes to be in the middle and he likes to have them moving and making shapes and all that kind of stuff.
Amen.
So that was nice. The various nods to I assume Compton was nice. I Any listener who's familiar with Compton, please tell me, do young men hang out on the top of light poles like that? Because he had that in the All Right video, and
Right.
he had like 4 or 6 lampposts, and there was a dude on each one of them, and I'm like, "Is that a thing that happens?" Because I have never seen that before
Right. I
in
see them
person.
chilling on the floor.
Right, yeah, yeah, hanging around a lamppost, sure, but on the
Yeah.
top, nah, I've never seen that. So any trooper correspondent who can back that up, please help me out because I really was like, "Is this how they doing it?"
Real talk, yo. Yo, if one of y'all take a picture from up there, yo, that'd be fire.
Yeah, actually, yeah, get really get on the ground here with it.
By the way, just a small tangent.
Mhm.
This I want to say it was Kate Hoffman. We have a lot of dope troops and correspondents.
Okay.
Um, I when I tell you that they sent me legit like maybe 3 articles in a row explaining answers that you and I had over like the same episode. Like it was sincerely like one of the most like helpful DMs I've ever gotten in my life. Like I felt smarter reading it. Like it was brawling. Everything that you and I stumbled upon as a duo.
Mhm.
It was like one of them was explaining the various different sizes that tuna can be.
Okay, alright.
Like real talk, like, and I'm blown. Shad, the range will fuck your head up. Real talk. I ain't even gonna spoil it for you because Kate did the research. I'm gonna send it
Okay,
to you, but
okay.
like it's wild.
Alright.
I got an article about a scandal in DC related to trivia night and how
Oh.
real that's going. You know what I mean? And then and then the history of sports betting and how it became legal and specifically how
Okay.
ESPN got involved.
Oh,
I like,
great.
yo, all the research that we do not
Dude,
purport, like we don't
thank
do.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
thank y'all so much. Um,
Real talk. But yeah,
so anywho, as far as a, um, Super Bowl halftime performance,
right,
I won't say lackluster because I understand what he was trying to do. He was
right,
he was making some bigger points than just, "Hey, everybody, let's party. It's a football game."
Right.
Then that's fair. Especially once I watched back again and I saw really what Samuel L. Jackson was saying and how that was playing out. I was like, okay, great, great, great. I see now.
Right.
But as far as like a performance, um, the mix was too low. I think Apple messes with the music because then I saw clips. I was like, this is very quiet. And
Right.
I think, um, Apple juices some things, but then cuts some other things, or they do pre-recorded stuff so that we can hear it, so that the TV audience can hear it, but it sounds different if you're actually in the same because it definitely sounded pre-recorded, not like not like he was lip syncing, but just like that's what they were playing. Like maybe they audio tape a dress rehearsal like
Right.
SNL does, and then they play that over it.
Okay.
So but the mix was just very low, and so that kinda took some of the energy, whatever energy there could have been, out of it. And then I know he didn't do, like, any of his big hits, but he you know, I will say Not Like Us is so notable because although, Kendrick's, like he definitely has given us bangers, I
Right.
can't think of ones that are high energy bangers. He
Right.
gives us bangers, but they're not always high energy.
I agree. I agree.
And so like they're like almost quiet bangers.
Yeah.
More head nods than or grabbing your homie around the shoulders and both of you shaking your dreads together kind of bangers. You
Okay.
know what I
Okay.
mean? Instead of like everybody losing their inhibition and just like shaking everything bangers.
Yeah.
And it's a very rooted it's a very rooted kind of thing, which which is fine, perfectly
Banging place.
fine, love it, but I think sometimes for the Super Bowl, it needs to float more,
Okay.
you know? That said, I'm not mad that he did, I almost and like before the it even happened, I was just like, "There's certainly gonna be some sort of American flag thing." You know what I mean? We
Right.
love to subvert the American flag. You know what so I was just like, certainly he's gonna do he likes a lot of people lined up. There's gonna be a flag, you know? Like, you could count on that. You really could. Like, if I was a betting person, that's what I would have bet on.
Real
Um,
talk.
but, yeah, so ultimately I was like, it's fine. It's fine. It's a good Kendrick. Um, a good yeah, I'd say it's a good to really good Kendrick performance and a fine, okay to fine Super Bowl
Yeah.
performance.
So that's kind of where I fell, like in terms of what it was for the Super Bowl. I
Mhm.
thought I just think that he was trying to do an art piece, which is
Mm.
not what people normally do during the Super Bowl.
Right, and I'm not
So
mad at him for
yeah,
that.
I thought in terms of art pieces, it might have been top 3 of what's
Mhm.
done at a Super Bowl. In
Yes.
terms of Super Bowl energy performance, I think it
Mhm.
was probably in the middle. I think
Right.
definitely stuff that were way more like energized for that room, that space.
Right.
Get it?
Mhm.
But I thought he wasn't going for that. I thought he was trying to convey a particular message, and I thought that was interesting and cool to see.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, I think ultimately he did do a good job with doing that because I knew when they announced him, I was just like, well, how's that going to work? Because I've watched on Amazon, I think it might still be on Amazon Prime or something, but
yeah,
they show one of his concerts in Paris and I
right,
watched that. And I mean, that's a room full of people who love him and those people loved him. They knew every word. And and that energy from the crowd makes the show seem
right,
like it is, but if that energy's lower,
right.
then
It's
it's
different.
yeah, it's him with a bunch of people lining up over and over, like
Real talk.
marching band with no instruments. And and
Real
it's
talk.
not that he didn't also like it's not that he wasn't trying or anything. He had choreography along with everything else.
Yeah.
Like all of that was done. Now that I've said all of that, like after watching the whole thing, and I'm like, overall, it was fine. Um, the Not Like Us section, which is what everyone was waiting on. The way that first even brushed against it, like, I want to do everyone's favorite song, but they like to sue. I was like,
Right.
uh-oh, okay. And they're like, what you gonna do? He's like, you know what, I'll slow it down first. I was like, oh wow, interesting. Um, so then when he went ahead and went into it, um, I was just like, "Okay, okay. How much are we going to do?" And then he said, "Say Drake." And I went, "No. No, 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 no. You said that man's name on television." Like, "Oh, oh,
That dude is
okay."
Voldemort right now, yo.
I thought like if anything, maybe he'd let the people rap it. I'm an idiot, but I didn't know. Like there are some words I thought he was just going to not say the name and just
Right.
let people kind of fill in on some things. Like he didn't say pedophile.
Right.
Um, he didn't say the N word. Um, but he did say Drake. Uh, and then he didn't have to say A minor. Everyone got that part.
Real talk. He wore it.
I mean,
He literally wore it. He had the chain with that.
with A on it. I think that's actually a logo for his video or production company or something.
It's
But it
like it's the A minor musical note.
no.
Yeah, I'm serious. The chain.
I saw that, but I think it's also the logo for I had read that it was also the logo for his PG Lang or something
That's fire.
thing. But, who knows? Who really knows with that one?
Listen.
Um, but let me tell you something. So when they did the A minor and then they come back with everyone saying they not like us, and then they cut to Serena crip walking, I was like, "Yo, this here though, a little bit
This
of a
is special.
masterpiece. This is
Real
this is
talk.
this is a little bit of a masterpiece to have Serena Williams." And I had forgotten. I thought it was just because Serena had done that at like a tennis match, either Wimbledon or the US Open or something, where she had won and she did that crip walk on the side and
Right.
everyone was furious with her. I thought that's why
Right.
they were doing it. I had forgotten that Drake and Serena had a thing. And I was
Mhm.
like, that was the next day that I was like, oh shit, another
Yeah.
level.
Real talk.
Hold on.
Yo. He had 2 X's on the stage. Yeah, Scissor too. That was
Oh,
beautiful.
SZA. Well, I forget about SZA because I don't really know her folklore. I don't. I think I've mentioned that I tried to listen to her first, like, album, and the
Yeah.
first song is so stressful about her, fucking this other guy and these guys, but while you fucking him, I'm fucking him, and, well, it was so stressful that I can't get to the rest of the album because that first one is too young lady stressful, and I was
Yeah.
like,
You going through it.
I don't do these anymore. I can't.
Listen, songs about folding, okay? I wanna fold my laundry,
Right,
okay?
yeah. I can't my pressure is growing up with all of this, oh, driving around trying to find people. No, I can't. So to me, she's not synonymous with mess, but she's right up there with it, right?
Yeah, yeah. She neighboring with it.
Yeah, but they have been tight for so long that I forget about the Drake. I mean, also
Right.
Drake is a little bit for the streets, or at least he'd like us to believe that.
Yeah.
Or maybe he doesn't want us to believe that. Maybe he wants to think that he's the one in charge. But nah, buddy, you for the streets.
Real
Um,
talk.
you and Common, y'all both for the
Wild
streets.
sloppy.
Wild. But yeah. So I mean, I thought that part. I thought that was well done.
Yeah, I respected the hater aspect of it for sure.
Always.
That was peak hating. Like, I
Yeah.
genuinely was dope.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't know. I was surprised at how much negative press it got in terms of it being uh not I don't know, I guess not worthy of the Super Bowl for a variety of reasons. I thought that while he didn't play his biggest hits, he still played big songs. Like there were I want to say 3 to 4 songs that were top 10 hits in it.
Right.
He had given us a lot of those big hits in his prior Super
Mhm.
Bowl appearance with Dre.
Right, and also that was not that long ago, and
Yeah,
I feel like that might be why, because I know people were like, "Why didn't he do all right?" And I was like, "Well, he literally just did that, like,
yeah,
3 years ago. So, he's not gonna repeat those." And
yo,
who knew 3 years ago that he would be asked to do it by himself?
right.
Luckily, and so I totally get he's like, "Nah, I got this new record, Imma do these new songs and all that stuff." I kinda like him treating it like it's, like, "Nah, I got new shit."
Real talk.
Instead of going back into that's totally fair, and I the more I think about it, the more I'm like, "Yeah, no, absolutely, that's what he was going to do." And I know he has, like, big songs, but again, they're all rooted bangers.
Yeah.
So, I don't know how they float in the air like other people's, but, yeah.
It reminded me of like a stand-up that like when you're putting together an hour, you might
Mhm.
have this dope joke, but it don't fit the hour.
Right.
He had
Yeah.
an idea of what he wanted to convey, and he had
Mhm.
stuff that fit it. And he might
Mhm.
have these other joints, but they don't fit this thing. So
Right,
he wasn't gonna force it just because.
right. So, I mean, he did what if anyone has followed him, you could expect them to do, on some level.
Right.
And he did it well, I thought, and, that mix was so quiet. I even
Yeah.
said that to a coworker, the one coworker who asked me about it the next day. Nobody else seemed to I could hear other coworkers talking amongst themselves about it, but
Right.
nobody asked me, and I was like, "Huh." I didn't know how to feel about that. I was just like, I mean, they know I like music, right? They know I have opinions, but no one asked me except for one guy who was just like, "Oh, what'd you think?" And I knew exactly what he meant.
Yeah.
I was like, "I thought the mix was low." He was like, "Oh, that's good to hear because we were at someone's house watching it and I thought maybe their sound bar was just lousy." And I'm like, "No, no, it was a low mix." He's like, "Okay, good. That's what I thought too."
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love the idea of like yeah, I love the idea of like white coworkers thinking
Mhm.
that like if they mention the mix, that's racist.
Oh, woof. I thought the mix was low too. What
That
a
was
relief.
maybe that's how they like their music.
Historically, that's not been the case, but maybe.
They shade, you know what I mean? It's an artsy thing.
Oh,
Oh man,
jeez.
that's beautiful. But yeah, I honestly I enjoyed it. I thought it was visually really beautiful.
Mhm.
I also thought it was definitely one of the a pivot in terms of more and more of these things catering strictly to the audience at home versus like caring about the audience there. I think that at home this looked beautiful. I'm curious, like there, like they mentioned, that demo might not have been more than 10-20% Kendrick fans.
Oh, no, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely
Like
not.
he,
Oh, come on.
yeah,
Yeah.
like he's not rocking to that room. He's rocking to
No.
the camera.
Yeah, because, I mean, I don't know how many Kendrick fans can afford, um, you know,
Right.
Super Bowl tickets like that. But, also from the stands, it was a PlayStation controller.
Yeah, that's wild.
Because I think there was some deal with PlayStation where it was going to look like either their new controller or something. That's why there was like X and O and
Yeah.
yeah, like that. So it looked like a thing, but it was, kind of hard to figure out. That's what I mean. Yeah, I like it unless you were like kind of in the moment
Yeah,
there.
nah. I think that
But it
was
also
strictly for home.
sounded like it was clear he was doing that live while
Yeah,
you were
there.
there. Yeah.
Well, rock on, Kendrick. I think you officially won.
Yeah.
If
Well, I
it wasn't
mean,
clear before.
yeah, you also I mean, if you're not gonna tour behind this record, Kendrick, take a break.
Yeah, I think you good at this point, B.
Yeah, I think, like, you should take a break so that people can separate you 2,
Yeah,
because you also which, I mean, I feel like Kendrick will take a break if he wants to.
he does.
Yeah, he
that
will
I'll
do
that
that.
I'll give that dude be chilling like, yeah, I'm gonna see y'all in like 4 years.
Right, yeah.
Real talk.
Whereas I believe Drake is going to put out a record, like, on
Some
Valentine's Day.
real talk. He
Eh
gearing up, like low key.
Gearing up for what? He needs to gear up to sit his ass down. Drake, you know I don't like you, baby. But when are you going to just sit down and play this out? Like,
Yo,
let it go. We've told you. Everyone's been telling you this. Is that it? Is that, should we just, we could just turn our back on you? What's more painful?
real talk. It can happen. It can happen. And in other news, New York City Mayor Eric Adams,
Oh, fuck this dude. I'm sorry.
thanks to Justice Department.
Oh, yeah, really fuck this dude then. I wasn't even sure what the story was. That's just an automatic fuck this dude.
Oh man, two takes from Shy halfway through the headline. Oh man, after the Justice Department, prosecutors were directed to drop the case against him. That's right. He thanked the Justice Department on Tuesday after they dropped the federal case, saying he never broke the law or traded power for personal benefit.
Oh my God.
Yo, he is like shooting all the shots here, yo. My man feeling extra free. Adams praised the department's decision for ending a months-long saga that put me and my family and this city through unnecessary ordeal.
Oh, it was that put this. We literally danced in the streets, my man, when that shit was announced.
Real talk. Nobody in the city was on your side, B. Real talk.
Nobody. We were already like, who's next? Get him out
Oh
the paint.
man.
Who's next?
I would never put any personal benefit above my solemn responsibility as your mayor. Adams, the Democrat, forcefully defended himself again from the accusations he said had resulted in the most difficult 15 months of my life.
Oh God. When do we vote? He like this year, right? We get him out
Yeah,
this
I
year?
think so. We done in November with homeboy.
Oh my God. This is
You know,
insane.
Sha, low key, I've been curious if he would pivot to being Republican while in the seat.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, New York seems to be very serious about
Dems
Republicans vote on this day. It like you have to once you make that declaration, you cannot,
you in.
cross. So I have found that the Democrats here in New York, they just switch without changing the name. They just act in a different way. You know what
Right,
I mean? Or they feel like they're above it anyway, that it's just a label for them to get on a ballot and then they're going to do what they're going to do.
right.
I mean this city has hated every mayor the same, no matter
Real talk.
where they came from, what side they were on.
New
This
York only likes mayors sometimes and only
and
afterwards.
only afterwards. And I don't it's not going to be a good look for Mr. Adams.
Real
I
talk.
mean, there are people who are already like, remember de Blasio. You know what I mean?
Yo, real
Like,
talk.
and I'm like, I do, and y'all hated him.
Real talk. The last one that I know that's still held fondly is I would say Dinkins.
Yeah, and I think that's um just because he was the first black mayor.
Yeah. Mind you, they didn't reelect him, so they didn't
Yeah,
like him
right.
then.
So how much did they like him, you know?
It's just everything after's been trash. It's
Right.
been rough. Like they had Giuliani like in high esteem because of the whole 9/11 thing, and then
Right.
he's made sure like, nah, I'm gonna be so much worse after
Right.
this, and I'm gonna undo that.
Yes.
Um, yeah, nah, like they don't rock with anybody.
No, not at all. But man, I don't buddy. He went up there and I mean, I imagine that Donald Trump must have sent him a card after that meeting with the Justice Department that just says, "How my ass tastes," because he was so far up there in order to he dropped whatever he was doing. There was something kind of important here that he was just like, I gotta go to DC right quick. And went up there and
Hmm.
begged for freedom. Oh
Real
my.
talk.
And then on top of this, thanking him, he also was just like, oh, hey, New Yorkers, not so much on my man Donald. Like, hey,
Yeah,
chill. Just do, I'll tell you how to react when ICE comes around. Just maybe don't talk so much shit about about our president, and I just wanna fucking ugh,
Real
this
talk, B.
guy.
Such a major backpedal, homeboy.
Do the time. You so
Real
hard.
talk. Yeah, B.
Do
You
the
trying to be hip
time.
hop in streets?
Yeah.
Nah, man. You ain't about this life, homie. You
Yeah, you
proved it.
can't take it. You can't
Mm-mm.
take it. Maybe they'll send you to prison in Turkey or wherever it was you were trying to. It was Turkey, right?
Yeah, somewhere out there, B. You should
Oh my
be.
oh my god. This guy's the worst. He's so terrible. Fuck that dude. He's so horrible.
I love that. Finally, Domino's
Hmm.
is launching a pepperoni inspired perfume for Valentine's Day, Sha.
For Valentine's Day?
That's right. What could be
Ew.
more attractive? That's
Ew.
right. Domino's has launched a pepperoni inspired perfume to entice pizza lovers this Valentine's Day. The limited edition Audi Toilette is a nod to its pepperoni passion pizza and is said to have an irresistible notes of spice, pepper, and a woody warm base.
Mm.
To mark the launch of the Audi Passion, Domino's launched the steamy content featuring Married at First Sight UK star Luke De Bono on a quest to find passion, with
Oh,
Luke being
no.
shown spraying his chiseled physique with the bespoke pizza-shaped bottle.
I can't I don't know if I can explain enough how terrible this looks. It first off, the bottle is a pyramid where
Mhm.
each side looks like a slice of pizza, so that's for our that's for our listeners at home. And then, I guess you are basically spraying, a perfume, a cologne that smells like, I'm guessing, oregano
Yeah, like
and garlic? Which look, um if I am to be fully honest with you, you know how they say in order to get someone to like love a house or so, say you're showing a house and the way to get people to kind of fall in love with it is to have like a cake, like you just baked cookies or a cake and you have that smell in the house.
right.
If you want me to buy your house, bake garlic bread. I will buy your house and any other house on the block. The whole block smells like garlic bread. I will be there. So the idea of smelling like garlic and oregano all the time, to me, is terrible, but also, huh. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? But you don't gotta put the pepperoni on it. It's not you ain't gotta put the like, I can't think of how to smell like meat. Like, I don't know, and I've been
Yeah,
doing
that
a lot of, perfume stuff. I've been buying a lot of little size perfumes, and I've been mixing them, and I've been
okay.
layering them, and if at some
Oh.
point in my layering them, I smelled like pepperoni, I'm back in the shower. We're starting over. I'm late to whatever wherever it was I was going. I gotta text them and tell them I'm late because I smell like pepperoni, and that's
Real
not
talk.
really what I'm going for.
I'm pro pepperoni. That
I'm
is
pro
not a kink
pepperoni.
for me at all.
Yeah.
It could be for somebody, ain't shaming,
Mm-mm.
but I can't see that being like the target demo
Right.
for wanting to eat pizza.
Like a candle, yes. If you were
A
to make
candle I
a
could do.
pizza scented candle, I would get a small one
Right,
out of curiosity. Give me like a little travel size one, but I'm
right. I
not.
want to be in the room with pepperoni. I don't want you to be pepperoni.
Right?
You know what
Yes.
I
Exactly.
mean?
Exactly.
At what's homeboy name that it feels real like Army Hammer, like
Oh,
that.
oh, the guy who ate people.
Yeah,
Oh,
he was trying to eat
he
people. That
wanted to eat people. Anyway,
real
not
talk.
he did not allegedly. Whatever.
I definitely think
Yes.
he ate people. For the record, he definitely cheated. I do. I'll bet my life on that. Like on God, he's eating people.
I
I don't think he murdered people. I think he's been at places that like
have
people are so rich that
mm,
like they figure out a way to be like, yo, like we ain't gonna kill you, but we'll give you like 4 million for your thigh.
right.
And like somebody makes that trade, you know?
Okay.
And then
Okay.
like real rich people like divide that up and like it's
Yeah.
their way of feeling ultra elite that they could get this illegal human meat.
Look, I'm with you. I absolutely believe the 1% of the 1% are out here eating humans.
Real talk.
For sure. Who knows? He probably knows someone who could get him in. I don't think he's that wealthy. I know he's part of the I think he's part of the Arm& Hammer Money or something,
Yeah, that's
maybe?
what I'm saying. Like he ain't, but like he got
Yeah,
people
but he
like
got
that.
friends, yeah, there are
Yeah,
friends who take pity on their poor rich friend, and
real
they
talk.
yeah, and would invite him. Um, so I don't doubt that at all, but, like, I still don't want you to smell like pepperoni. I don't like, that's not if a dude smelled like pepperoni, I would just be like, I don't know, maybe, like, rinse a little with some mouthwash, or did you wanna start over? I've got shampoo, I got a whole shower if you wanna just like, hit reset, um, you know?
If you would like to take home a bottle of the pepperoni perfume, if I win it from Domino's, you will have it. I'll give it to whoever wants. All you gotta do is like, subscribe to the show, baby. If you are Apple or Spotify listener, we appreciate your ratings, 4 stars. You don't appreciate my generosity. You know, I'm gonna give you the free thing that I might not win. Okay,
Oh, that's a big bottle.
yo, it's brawling. Real talk. It's
It's a
crazy.
lot of Also,
Like
of the pizzas I wanna smell like, Domino's is not the one. Like, let's keep it real.
my thing is, if if this shit, that's what threw me off the bottle size. Cause like,
It's
if you
so
want to smell like
much.
perfume, like if you want to smell like pepperoni, it's probably a one-time thing. Like, let's
Yes.
try that out. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? But like
it's a tester
pepperoni in the
at best.
rotation, yeah, like
Yeah,
that's wow.
like, this
You
is
pepperoni Monday through Friday?
yeah, this is 30 milliliters, by the way. That's a lot.
Real talk.
That's so
That's
much.
not even a day. That's an era. Like people
Yeah, that's
know.
like, "Yay, remember when I smelled like Domino's for a year?"
Real talk. That's crazy. That is crazy. That is too much time.
It's too much.
How you gonna have pepperoni smell define you, yo?
Uh,
Nah, B. Y'all going too far, B.
yeah, this is a lot. This is a lot.
5 stars, you agree with everything we just said, but we'll still send you a bottle if we get it. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
well, you'll get it, yeah. I'm gonna enter this too.
Let's do
You
it. Let's do it.
you can't win if you don't enter, you know?
That was my logic. We were reading the article. I was like, oh, hold up. I got all my stuff saved already on Google. I can click enter, you know? If you have any articles you want us to cover, please DM us directly on Twitter or Instagram at Silky Jumbo or at Gastor Almonte. Shout out to Sweet to Lori McDaniel. With all that said, I am the admittedly probably smelling like pepperoni like once a week, but it's because I ate pepperoni, Gastor Almonte. Okay. With the never smelling like pepperoni because she's too classy for that. You know what I mean?
That's not true. I literally secrete garlic out of my pores. But that is why the perfumes of choice are like a vanilla. You know what I mean? It's like a fruity thing. We're trying to
Balance. Okay.
yes.
All right. Why you trying to smell like the main course is dessert? Okay.
Right, exactly. So
Nobody says they want to be a dinner, they want to be a snack.
I'll
All
give
right.
you a hint of what the salad dressing was, but it's mostly going to be dessert.
Amen. Vanilla scented, Shalewa Sharpe. Okay. This has been roller coaster of emotions and mood of the War Report. Catch y'all next time. Peace.